Good morning, students. Welcome in next lecture of Math F212 optimization. Presently, we are doing the problem of duality. So, in continuation of that, here we have another problem. Audio video is okay.
Yes, sir.
So, another problem we have. Consider the following LP. Maximize Z is equal to 2x1 plus 4x2 plus 4x3 minus 3x4 subject to following constraints. So, here already in is equal to form, need not to add or subtract the slack or surplus respectively. And here we can see x3 and x4 are making identity matrix. It means they are the initial basic variable. Right here, this x3 and x4 will form the initial basic variable. Use the dual problem to show the basic solution x1 x2 is not optimal. So they are saying that if you take the basis of x1 x2, that is not a optimal. So first, if you write its dual problem, so what will be the dual? Dual will become problem is of minimization. So dual will be minimization, or w is equal to, here it will become 4 y1 plus 8 y2 subject to y1 plus y2, and here we have the 2. Since it is the minimization, so here it will become the greater than. Then y1 plus 4y2 greater than equal to, here we have 4 greater than equal to 4. Then y1 greater than equal to 4. Then here we have the y2 greater than equal to minus 3. And y1 y2 are urs, y1 y2 are urs. So here we have the dual problem. Now from here, if the x1 x2 are the basic variable, bases are x1 x2, or you can say p1 p2, it means non-basic it means z1 minus c1 will be the 0 and z2 minus c2 will be the 0. Then only it will be the basic variable. This implies that this is the corresponding to x1, this constraint corresponding to x2, this constraint corresponding to x3, this corresponding to x4. So zj minus cj, through the dual constraint we can write it as a left minus right. So this will become y1 plus y2 minus 2, and we know that zj minus cj is always 0 for the basic variable. Then after, here we have y1 plus 4y2 minus 4 is equal to 0, right? So from the x1, from the x2, we have written left minus right. So from here you will get the value of the y1 and y2. So y1 y2 you will get as a 4 by 3, 2 by 3. So here y1 will come 4 by 3 and y2 will come 2 by 3. Now for the non-basic variable, for the non-basic variable means x3 x4, we compute z3 minus c3, z4 minus c4, and z3 minus c3 will become y1 minus 4. From here y1 minus 4, left minus right, and it will become the y2 plus 3, y2 plus 3. Clear? And y1 we have already computed as 4 by 3 minus 4, and y2 is the 2 by 3 plus 3. So it will be the 11 by 3 positive, and this is the uh, minus 8 by 3 negative. Problem is of maximization. So in the maximization we check most negative will enter. So since this is the negative, this implies that not optimal. Clear or any doubt? It's clear.
Yes, sir.
So here we have computed the right. It is not. It means Zj minus Cj for particular non-basic variable is negative for at least any one. Then we say it is not optimal. Now here we have the theoretical part, economic interpretation of the duality. So linear programming problem can be viewed as resource allocation. If you recall the ready-mix problem, there we have allocate the material M1 and material M2 for the production of exterior paint and interior paint. So linear program can be viewed as a resource allocation model. Here we allocate the available resource, in which objective is to maximize the revenue so that profit should be the maximum. You recall the ready-mix problem. Subject to availability of the limited resource. Subject to availability of the limited resource. So in general, we have the problem of type maximize z is equal to c1 x1 plus c2 x2 plus cn xn, and subject to constraint, right, less than equal to b1, less than equal to b2, and less than equal to ba, and all xi greater than equal to 0. We have this type of the problem. Now, so here, if we have the primal problem, maximize z is equal to c1 x1 plus c2 x2 plus cn xn, that is the summation cj xj, subject to summation j from 1 to n aij into xj, that is the a11 x1 plus a12 x2 plus a1n xn, right, less than equal to b1 for I is equal to 1 to m, 1 to m, that is the a21 x1 plus a22 x2 plus dash 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 plus a2n xn less than equal to b2, and we have the m constraint. So last it will become a m1 into x1 plus a m2 into x2, and last a mn xn less than equal to bm. We have this constraint. So in this case, this problem can be viewed as a resource allocation model. The primal problem has an economic activities. Primal problem has an economic activity. An economic activity means we are producing the exterior paint, we are producing the interior paint, which involve the cost, right? Which in producing you are getting the profit. So it is the economic activity with which you are getting something. Economic activity and M resources. M resources means B1, B2, BM. Material 1, material 2, market demand, market capacity, all are the M resources. The coefficient Cj in the primal coefficient is the revenue per unit of activity. So Cj is what? This Cj is what? This Cj is the unit profit you are getting in selling the exterior paint, unit profit you are getting in selling the interior paint. So here we have the revenue per unit of activity. Resource I, whose maximum availability is Bi. So you have seen in the ready-mix, we have the maximum limit of the availability for exterior paint as well as the interior paint, and is consumed at the rate Aij, means ith resource is consumed by an jth by a jth activity. Aij denote the rate at which we are consuming the resource, ith resource, right, in performing the jth activity. So here we can understand the given problem as a resource allocation model. So if you write its dual, so here we have the dual. So primal is easy to understand the economic interpretation. Right now we have the dual. So dual for this. So in this case, maximize. So it will become the minimize. And here we have the bi. So for the each constraint, we allocate one dual variable. So it will become the bi yi, right? Vi yi, and I vary from 1 to m. Total m constraints we have subject to, right? Subject to. Now column wise we write. So here we have the summation of a ij, right? Aij, and I vary from 1 to m yi. Since it is a question of maximization, dual will be the of minimization. So here the constraint of this, and here we have the cj for for j is equal to 1, 2, and n, and y I R URS. Y R URS. So here we write the dual. So dual is here minimize W is equal to summation B I Y I vary from 1 to M subject to summation I vary from 1 to M A I J Y I greater than equal to C J for J is equal to 1 to N, and all the yi are greater than equal to 0. Here I have written the yi as a URS because presently I have not converted this in the equation form. This in the equation form by adding the slack variable. So as you write the dual constraint for the slack variable and combined with this, you will get the required non-negativity for the dual variable. Clear? Now we have to understand what is the W here. We have to understand what is the Yi, because here W is the dual optimal value and Yi are the dual variable. These are the dual variable. Dual variable. So what is the economic interpretation of the dual variable? That we have to understand. So you know that in general, maximization is lesser than the minimization, right? It is independent of the whether we are dealing with the primal problem or the dual problem. Maximize increase from lower value to highest value, and minimize decrease from higher value to the lowest value, right? Lowest value. So at the optimum they will match. So here we have the z is equal to what? Maximize z, and z is what? Summation cj xj, and by the theory it must be less than the less than w, or what is the w? Summation bi yi, and and the optimal. And what is the z is nothing, it is the cj xj, or total profit. Or total profit means you can understand z is the revenue. Z is revenue. It means w is also a money, a revenue, a money, right? Because you can compare the money with the money only. So w is also a money. So at the optimal, z is equal to w. And what is the z? Z is the summation of of the unit resource, right? This money is nothing, it is the unit resource. It is the unit resource and cost of the unit resource, and the cost of the unit resource. or importance of the unit resource. So that's why this 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 Y are known as the worth per unit or shadow price or dwell price. So this dwell variable is nothing. Y dwell variable, it is nothing. This is the worth, importance of the particular resource. It is the importance of the particular resource. Clear? So this is why I economically, if you understand, because Z is the money, W is also money, and W is nothing. It is a multiplication of the resource limitation, resource availability. So to convert the resource availability to money, we have to multiply with the money upon resource availability capacity, so that you will get the right. You will get the money. So that will give you the worth of the resource. At feasible, right, at feasible, Z is less than W. Z is less than W. Or what is the Z? Z is the total revenue, and W is what? Total worth of the resource. So naturally, always when we have the feasible solution, so whatever the worth, importance of the resource, and whatever the revenue you are getting, revenue is always lesser than the worth of the resource. When you will get the maximum revenue? When you utilize all the worth of the resource. That's why we have at the optimal, we have the maximize Z is equal to minimize W. When you utilize the worth of resource, then you will get the maximum revenue. Until unless we will not give our complete means intelligence or hard work, we will not get the good marks. That is the logic. So here the relationship says that so long as total revenue from all the activity is less than the worth of the resource, the corresponding primal and dual are not optimal. Until unless you are not utilizing right the complete resource, you are not making, means you are not understanding the worth of the resource, you are not utilizing the worth of the resource, you are not getting the your maximum revenue. The optimal maximum revenue is reached only when resource have been exploited completely. Until unless you are not using your available resource completely, you cannot get the maximum maximum benefit, which can happen only when input worth of the resource equal to output revenue. The economic term in economic terms, the system is said to be unstable. Unstable means unoptimal, because you are not utilizing complete worth of the available resource. When input worth of the resource exceed the output, stability occurs only when two quantities are equal. Clear? What is the meaning of the dual variable here? Economic interpretation. Let us understand this by the example. This is a well-known example. Ready-made problem. Maximize Z is equal to 5x1 plus 4x2 subject to 6x1 plus 4x2 less than equal to 24. And here we have the exterior paint. No, material M1. Material M1. Here we have the material M2. So these are the resource, and this is the market limit. This is the demand limit, right? So we know that optimal solution for this problem is the x1 is equal to 3, x2 is equal to 1.5, and z is equal to 21. If you write its dual, so this will become first we have to associate the dual variable with each constraint. So y1, y2, y3, y4. So dual will become minimize w is equal to 24 y1 plus 6 y2 plus y3 plus 2y4, subject to 6y1 plus y2 minus y3 greater than equal to 5, and here we have the 4y1 plus 2y2 plus y3 plus y4 greater than equal to 4, and if you add the slack variable and so on, so you will get the y1 greater than equal to 0, y2 greater than equal to 0, y3 greater than equal to 0, and y4 greater than equal to 0, and y1 y2 are urs. So as you combine these two line, so you will get the all the dual variables are non-negative. So here you will get the dual problem. Clear? And from the, if you solve the dual, you will get the following optimal solution. Y1 is equal to 0.75, y2 is equal to 0.5, y3 and y4 is equal to 0, and w will be the same as 21. Now, as I have told you, this y1 and y2 represent y1 and y2 represent the worth. So you can note the worth of importance of material M1 is 0.75, and importance of the material M2 is zero point 0.5. Other two constraints are related to market, related to demand, means there is no utilization of the resource. It is only the restriction of the market and demand. That's why its worth, their worth are coming as a zero. Their worth are coming as a zero because these are not the resource for which you have to invest something. So here the y1 and y2 represent the worth for the exterior and material M1 and material M2 in the production of exterior paint and interior paint, right? X1 and X2 respectively. So here the optimal dual solution shows that dual price worth per unit of the raw material M1 resource 1 is y1 is equal to 0.75, that is the $750 per ton. That is the worth of the material M1, right? And that of raw material M2 resource 2 is y2 is equal to 0.5 or $500 per ton. These results hold true for specific feasibility range, right, as shown in section 3.6. For the resource 3 and 4 representing market and demand limit, it is only the restriction. Their the dual price are both zero, which indicate their associated resource are abundant, right? If the dual price is zero, if the dual price or birth of the or dual variable is equal to zero, then we say associated resource are abundant. Hence, their worth per unit will be the zero. Clear? Now, economic interpretation of the dual constraint. In converting the primal into dual, we have the dual constraint also. So, what is the meaning of the dual constraint? So, you know that Zj minus Cj is what? Zj minus Cj. Zj minus Cj means it is the objective Z coefficient, and it is the left of dual constraint, minus right of dual constraint, dual constraint, right of dual constraint. So here we have written objective coefficient of xj. Xj means zj minus cj. Zj minus cj. It is equal to left hand side of the dual constraint minus right hand side of the dual constraint. So here, if you note, what is this, right? What is this? 5 and 4, right hand side. This is nothing. This is the unit cost. right? This is the unit cost. So it means this is the some cost or money. If this is the money, then you can subtract the money from the money only, right? You can subtract money from the money only. So this we can write as means this is the cost. So means in particular it is the money. So it is equal to this aij into yi. So aij is what? Aij is the what? Rate of utilization of the resource I in performing the activity j into cost per unit of the resource I. So here dual variable also known as the imputed cost, right? This is also known as the imputed cost. Clear? And imputed cost of the resource used by one unit of the activity j, that is the aij. Aij is less than the revenue per unit activity of the j. So maximization optimality condition does say that it is economically advantage to increase the activity, right? You have to increase the activity so that you can get the more revenue to the positive level if its unit revenue exceed its unit imputed cost. So here yj you can understand as a dual price, worth per unit, or the imputed cost. Clear? So that is the economic interpretation of the duality. Now let us have this problem. Maximize z is equal to cx subject to ax is equal to b and x greater than equal to 0 in the matrix form. In the matrix form, so this can be written as maximize z is equal to c1 x1 plus c2 x2 plus cn xn subject to here it will become the a11 a12 a1n a21 a22 a2n, and here we have the am1 am2 amn into x1 x2 xn is equal to b1 b2 bm bm and all xi greater than equal to 0. So that we can write in the standard form: maximize z is equal to cx subject to ax is equal to b and x is equal to x greater than equal to 0. If you associate a dual variable with this constraint capital Y, if you associate the dual variable capital Y with this constraint, so what will be the duality? Maximize. So here we write the minimize. Now we write the constraint from this. So here we have the ya is equal to or minimize. So it is the minimize. So minimize. So it will become the yb. Right hand side we take. So right hand side will become the this and subject to ya, and since it is the minimization, so here we take the greater than equal to c, greater than equal to c, and y is the urs. Clear? For the given primal, this is your dual. Minimize w is equal to yv subject to ya greater than equal to c and a is unrestricted in sign. Is there any doubt in writing this? Because I have to use this result.
Sir, why are we like saying y to be an imputed cost? Like, I am still not able to understand what is the physical meaning of it.
So here, actually, what is the meaning of the imputed?
I don't know, sir.
Imputed means uh, uh, its importance and means how much it is contributing in generation of that thing. So here means just you understand y is nothing. It is the cost. It is the money. It is the money, and that here what we have the CJ. It means here if it is the revenue and ZJ minus CJ is what? ZJ minus CJ. It is the Z coefficient, right? ZJ minus CJ is what? It is the Z coefficient which you have to maximize. So for the maximize, right? By the dual we have the Aij into Yj minus Cj, and Cj you know that it is the unit profit. Unit profit. So the unit profit, or you can say it is the money. So this should also be the money. So here we have the yi means aij yj, and aij is what? Aij is the rate of, yes, aij is what? It is the usage of the resource I per unit activity of the j into cost per unit of the resource I. Means for the resource I, what is the unit cost? What is the indulged cost for utilizing for the particular resource? Means what is the cost per unit resource capacity? That is the imputed cost.
Okay, so
Means
if
let
suppose I have a resource
mean
and I want to say use it for a particular time, so maybe imputed cost is the rate charges. Say if you want to use a particular
means
commodity for say
for example you are utilizing the petrol. So what is the cost of 1 liter petrol?
understood, sir.
That is the imputed cost. Clear? I was asking for this. If we have the primal in the matrix form, then you can write the dual in the matrix form. Is there any problem in writing the dual in the matrix form?
No, sir.
Now, very first question, prove that dual of the dual is the primal. So here we have the dual, right? Here we have the dual. So if you write this dual in the standard form, if you write this dual in the standard form, so here what you have to do? Here what you have to do? Subtract the surplus variable, means minus I S. If we have the M constraint, so S1, S2, Sm. So minus I S. Then it will become the, if you write in the standard form, so minimize W is equal to YV plus 0 S subject to YA minus IS is equal to C, and Y is URS. When Y is URS, generally how we deal? When Y is URS, how we deal?
So we
Minimize minimize W is equal to Y, means Y plus minus Y minus. So here we take the क्या हो गया पेन को? So here we write minimize w is equal to y plus b minus y minus b plus 0s subject to y plus a minus y minus a minus is is equal to c and y plus y minus greater than equal to 0. Clear? Now you associate one dual variable with this. Now you assume this is the primal problem. So you associate one dual variable here. So the problem will become minimize, so maximize, w will become the z, and what is the right hand side? That is the c into x subject to. Corresponding to this, it will become a x and b. Since this is the maximization, here it will come the less than. With this, it will become minus a x less than equal to minus b, and from this you will get the minus x less than equal to 0. So this can be written as ax greater than equal to b, and this can be written as x greater than equal to 0. So if you combine these two, it will give you ax is equal to b. So whatever you have as a primal, so means when we are taking the dual of the dual, that will become the primal. That is the question. Clear? So we have the same thing. Dual of the dual is the primal. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if primal is given as minimize z is equal to cx subject to ax greater than equal to b, x greater than equal to 0, define the corresponding dual problem. So here we have the minimize primal is given to you, primal is given to you, minimize z is equal to cx subject to ax greater than equal to b and x greater than equal to 0. Yes. So what we have to do? First we have to write, first we have to write, or first we have to associate the dual variable y with each constraint, or first you have to convert into the standard form. So minimize z is equal to cx plus 0s and ax minus is is equal to b, and here x and s both are greater than equal to 0. Now you associate dual variable with each, right? So since this is the right hand side, so dual will become maximize z is equal to b y, just, or yv, right? It will become the yv because here we have the matrix, so we have to check the matrix multiplication. So maximize z is equal to yv subject to, so corresponding to this, we have the y, a and c. Since this is the maximization, so this will become the less than equal to c, and corresponding to this we have the minus y less than equal to 0, less than equal to 0, and y is urs. So this will implies y greater than equal to 0. If you combine these two, it will give you y greater than equal to 0. So that is your dual. Maximize maximize z is equal to yv subject to ya less than equal to c and y greater than equal to 0. So here we have the same thing. Clear? Now write the dual of maximize z is equal to cx, ax is equal to b, x is unrestricted. So if we have this thing, you know all the things, just I am brushing here. Problem is maximization or minimization? Maximization. So here we have the maximize z is equal to cx subject to ax is equal to b and x is urs. So when x is urs, this can be written as maximize z is equal to c x plus minus c x minus subject to ax plus minus a x minus is equal to b and x plus x minus greater than equal to 0, where x is what? X plus minus x minus, right? So now when we write the dual, so for the writing the dual, first we have to associate the dual variable y. So here right hand side is the b and problem is of maximization, so dual nature will become the minimization. W is equal to y b subject to now corresponding to x plus. So here we have the y a and here we have the c. Since it is of it is of minimization, so it will become the greater than equal to c. Corresponding to x1 minus, it will become minus ya greater than equal to minus c, right? And y is urs. So with this we have the ya less than equal to c, and if you combine these two, you will get the ya is equal to c and y is urs. So in this way we can write the dual problem. Clear? So here we have the dual of that. Now here we have the maximize z is equal to cx, ax less than equal to b, and x greater than equal to l but less than equal to u. So maximize z is equal to cx subject to ax less than equal to b and x greater than equal to l. You can assume it as a another constraint, and x less than equal to u, x less than equal to u, and x greater than equal to 0. So if you write, either first you convert into the standard form, right, or you can write directly also. Let's say y1, y2, y3 are associated dual variable. If they are the associated dual variable, so dual will become minimize w is equal to y1b y1b plus y2l plus y3u, right? Y3u, this only subject to now corresponding to x, it will become the y1a plus y2 and minus y3. If you write, if you convert, or instead of the y3, this will be the minus sign, because here we have the maximum. So this can be written as minus x less than equal to minus l. So this will become minus l. So this will be the minus l, and here we have the minus y2 plus y3 greater than equal to c. greater than equal to C, and y1, y2, y3 are the URS. So when the y1, y2 are the URS, so and when we convert into the standard form, when we convert, see what I am telling here, we have the ax less than equal to b. Here I have written the minus x less than equal to minus l, right? And here x is less than equal to u. So here you add the slack variable s1, slack variable s2, slack variable s3. So if you write the constraint corresponding to s1, s2, s3, automatically you will get the y1, y2, y3 are non-negative. Now if the y1, y2, y3 are non-negative, then we can write y3 minus y2 as a unrestricted variable. Let's say y is equal to y3 minus y2. So y is unrestricted. So your problem will become y1a, y3 minus y2 greater than equal to c, or y3 minus y2 can be written as a y. So y1a plus y is equal to greater than equal to c. Since y is unrestricted in sign, its value can always be selected such that y1a plus ya greater than equal to c satisfy. Means this is always feasible. Never the feasibility will disturb. Never feasibility will disturb. So time is over. These are the two important theorem there are. So in next class we will start. Thank you. Any doubt you can ask. In the previous question, if you have any doubt, please ask.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Chirag, any doubt?